go.
So see if interest rates drop.
See if interest rates drop. Those people right now can't afford, and unfortunately can't afford anything.
And unfortunately, because they waited, they got priced out of the market.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they got priced out of the market. And the one thing I always tell people in real estate is if everything is going your way, as far as you got a property, your offer got accepted, your loans accepted, everything is, loans approved. Those are signs that you should basically, it's time to buy.
Right. So let's talk for just a second about why it is that the inventory is up so much and why it is that you feel like things have evened out a little bit. It sounds like that word has gotten out. People are starting to understand that prices are up, right?
Right.
And they put their house on the market. Let's say I'm a seller and I put my house, I got the word from a realtor or from the news or from something else, right? Indicating, or this radio show, indicating that that prices are up and I've gone out and put my house on the market. And let's say I put my house on the market and I'm 30,000, 40,000 above what the actual comparables are, but I'm out there testing the market because things are going up and I want to catch them on the upside. If I'm that seller, what sort of advice would you give me?
Well, hopefully that seller is working with an experienced listing agent who will tell them why they should not do that.
So tell them the truth, in other words.
Absolutely, and that's
the
most important thing. And I know
Absolutely.
that sometimes listing agents wanting to get a listing, tell the seller what they think they want to hear,
Right.
but it's not honest.
Right.
Yeah.
And they get the listing and it just
The
causes a
property
lot of
sits,
problems.
right.
Exactly, the property sits and the sellers get frustrated and it's just not a good situation.
Yeah.
So it's important. I always tell my sellers and buyers the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to tell them the truth, and not just what I think,
Right.
but what my opinion based on the facts.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about that for just a second. Let's talk about if I'm a seller and I'm 30,000, 40,000 above market, right? Why is it that I can't get a buyer to come in and give me an offer that, say, is 20,000 below what the market value is, and then we can negotiate and come together somewhere? Why is it that buyers aren't coming in and putting in for instance, what we might consider, or a seller might consider, a lowball offer, so at least we can negotiate? We hear that all the time from sellers,
Right.
well, let's price a little higher so we can negotiate down and all that kind of thing.
Right.
Because I think what you're doing is pricing out certain buyers.
Right.
And the way that I always handle it, and Chris, hit it head on, is, have your facts, and I show them the facts, and I show them what's going on in their
Right.
area. I show them the last 3 solds in the last 90 days. I've showed them, their statistics in the last 6 months.
Right.
So I'm showing them what it is, and they're saying, well, I've heard you can get $50,000 more. I'm like, yeah, but those people who did that didn't go in didn't go in and say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and look for properties at $450.
Right.
They went to the lower part and said, okay, we can afford this, so let's go up in price.
Right.
So if you're going to go ahead and go to the high price, you're pricing out a whole demographic.
Well, and you're alienating
And you're
them, right?
alienating them, absolutely.
And let's be honest,
Right.
buyers are more sophisticated than they've ever been. They have
Absolutely.
access to information that they never had before.
sorry.
Yeah.
Exactly,
All the
which is
internet
great.
Yeah.
sites.
Yeah, who shall remain nameless, right?
Nameless,
Thanks,
sorry.
Patty.
But
The cease and desist letters in the
But yeah, the internet. We didn't
Yeah.
have that 20 years ago when I got into real estate. We
Yeah.
had, we still had the car forms that you wrote out with the, your fancy pen.
Right.
So it's really changed, and absolute buyers are much more sophisticated.
I met with a broker this morning and we were talking over coffee about Keller Williams in particular and him joining the office and that kind of thing. And one of the things that we talked about was he's been in the business a long, long time, and he sat down with one of his clients the other day and showed them what's available to the public with
Right.
regard to information about their property.
Right.
And they were floored.
Right.
Absolutely floored. They felt like it was almost an invasion of privacy that all that information's public and that any buyer can go
Absolutely.
sample it.
Yeah.
But it also brings into focus for a seller that if that kind of information is available out there, you had better be priced. If you want to sell your home,
Absolutely.
you had better be priced right where the market is, or maybe just a little bit below it.
Absolutely.
Right, because the
Lower.
market will tell you where you're priced.
Well, with interest rates rising though, right, there's a smaller pool of buyers.
Absolutely.
Like we talked about yesterday in the
Yeah.
training we did at the office. Yeah.
Absolutely.
One of the things that happens is every time interest rates drop or go up by a quarter, there are 23,000, you know, a little over 23,000 San Diegans that don't qualify for a home anymore.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
home
absolutely.
buyers.
And that's what the economists are telling us, but you know, that is a big, big number.
Right.
And when you're talking about a difference
Right.
between 3.25, where it was about a month and a half ago, to say 4.25 now, that's a lot of quarters, guys. You know,
Right.
that's a lot of people. I mean,
But
we're
with that-
talking a lot.
With that said, it's still a great time to buy. I mean, I've been in this business for over 20 years, and I remember getting into it with interest rates at 18%.
Right.
And even in the, you know, early 2000s, there were 10% and 9%.
Right.
They're 4.7